My niece was so humble and innocent, smart girl, go to work every day, bettering her life.
Family members waking up to the terrible news relayed by a friend who heard it happen.
From what I heard, she was on the phone with a friend, and she screamed.
An exchange of gunfire killed a 23-year-old woman in the North End, and an hour before that, 2 young men were involved in another shooting in the South End.
Lies. When you lose life, it don't come back. You don't get a second chance. We losing loved ones. The killing needs to stop.
Stop the violence. Stop it. Y'all took my baby. Y'all took my brother. That's it now.
She wants anyone with information to come forward. She also has this message to the gunman.
Because when you get behind them prison walls, oh, it ain't gonna be so pretty.
"23-year-old Shamaria Williams, affectionately known as Mama to friends and family, was a loving and hard-working young woman with a kind heart. Unsurprisingly, Shamaria worked in the healthcare field, taking care of individuals with disabilities, a job she did extremely well. In fact, she would often work double shifts because she genuinely loved what she did. All of her hard work paid off in the end, and she was finally able to purchase herself a new car. She also loved to travel and was looking forward to her upcoming trips to Africa with her father. He was excited for her to meet her grandfather and see all the country had to offer. I mean, after all, Shamaria, in his words, was his princess, and he loved spending time with her. Like many people, Shamaria and her family got together for a family cookout. Everything was going as usual, and everyone was having a good time. Little did anyone know, Shamaria made plans to also attend her 4th of July party that evening. After kissing her mother and saying goodbye, neither one of them could have imagined that they would never see or speak to each other again. Just before 1 a.m. on July 5th, Hartford police responded to a home on Cleveland Avenue for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would find 2 people shot inside of 2 separate vehicles, an adult male and an unresponsive adult female.
The section of Cleveland Avenue that shut down is in between Main Street and Hampton Street. Now, just before 1 this morning, Hartford police officers were called to this area for reports of a shooting. When they arrived, officers found 2 people shot, a male and a female, both described to be in their 20s.
The victim was identified as 23-year-old Shamaria Williams, who was taken to a local hospital where she was sadly passed away after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds. Sadly, Shamaria's uncle was also murdered in Hartford years ago. The other victim, a male in his 20s, was also taken to a hospital and is still recovering from his injuries. Hartford police believe the 2 were caught in the crossfire when 2 groups of people began shooting at each other following a 4th of July party. The streets were packed. Some of the local clubs were just letting out, and although Shamaria and the male victim were inside of their cars, they wouldn't have been able to drive off even if they wanted to. A friend of Shamaria says the 2 were on the phone together when she heard the shots ring out. Shamaria will also begin screaming.
Now, we're also told that there was another
silence.
Man who was
she would
also
never hear from
here.
Shamaria
We're not sure
again.
if he was in a car. Pretty much been a crime scene all day since the shooting happened. In fact, we are seeing more Hartford police officers come in front of this home that you can see here on Cleveland Avenue. From what we're hearing from police, a 23-year-old woman came to this street last night. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning. We are told she was inside a car when she was tragically and accidentally killed by an exchange of gunfire.
We believe that was a volley of gunfire. We believe that both victims were unintended targets. They just happened to be stuck in a packed street when 2 groups of parties were firing at each other.
Following Shamaria's untimely and senseless murder, a vigil was held in her honor. Dozens of friends and family flooded Cleveland Avenue in pink and white. Shamaria's mother said she just wants the violence to stop. It's becoming too much and constantly hitting way too close to home. More than anything, she wants answers. She wants justice for her baby girl. Justice for Mama.
My baby, she was precious. She was my precious jewel.
A jewel Lucretia Williams held dear to her heart, now gone. She and other family members mourning the death of her daughter, 23-year-old Shamaria Williams. Hartford police say she was shot and killed in a shooting on Cleveland Avenue early Friday morning. A man was also left injured. Her mother says they were celebrating the 4th of July during that time.
You're supposed to enjoy, have cookouts, and enjoy family, have fun.
The loss still very raw for her father. father.
My heart is pounding. I can't eat. I cry all night.
Williams was remembered by her family as a daughter who had a bright future. Her mother says she worked with people with disabilities and picked up many double shifts.
She just took care of them and did her job and put a lot of double shifts. I mean, I would barely even see my daughter because she was pulling so many double shifts.
Officers say they believe two groups of people were shooting at each other on Cleveland Avenue at the time. They say Williams and the injured man were stuck on a packed street and were unintended targets. It's especially painful for Lucretia Williams. Not only losing her daughter, her brother Jeremy Williams was killed in Hartford back in February of 2010. The trail in that homicide case still cold.
Put the guns down. Stop the violence. Stop it. Y'all took my baby. Y'all took my brother. That's it now.
Her mother demanded justice and the shooter responsible to turn themselves in.
What you did to her, you better know. God sit high, but he looked low. So there's consequences to action.
Hartford police say 3 people of interest have been identified, and investigators have already spoken to a few of them. Family, friends, and law enforcement are encouraging anyone with information to come forward. The case remains ongoing.